What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey, still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seatbelt. Alright, so now that it is now confirmed by Nintendo that the Nintendo Switch only features a retardedly, I don't know if that's a word, but it is now, retardedly low amount of internal storage, only 32 gigs, minus whatever it's gonna use for the system to function. So it's even less than 32 gigs. It's time to do this video discussing just who this is gonna affect, because believe it or not, it's not gonna really affect every Nintendo Switch owner. In fact, it's not going to affect most of them. Now, before you start yelling damage control, shut up, sit down, and learn something. Now, 32 gigs on the Nintendo Switch for storage. Sounds low because it is. Very low. I'm still surprised that Nintendo would go with that based on what happened with the Wii U. But given that the Nintendo Switch is a cart-based system and not disc-based, kind of changes things. It's still bad, but it changes things drastically. Now, first off, you're comparing 32 gigs to the what is it? How much memory did the freaking PlayStation? Was it like half a terabyte? Was it 500 gigabytes? Okay, hard drive on like the PlayStation, the vanilla PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, what you gotta realize is the reason for those big hard drives, and the reason why for a lot of people the Nintendo Switch wouldn't need a hard drive that size. Now, that's not saying that the option for that is bad, when actually we I guess we just found out that the other day that it's gonna support SD cards. They said up to 256 gigs. And then I saw something else. I don't know if this is confirmed. I didn't really look into it. It said mini SD cards up to 2 teraflops. 2 terabytes. So, yeah. I don't know if that one's true, but yeah, that's what I just heard. So, that's good. And it also says that Nintendo is thinking about enabling support for external hard drives, but said they're kind of worried about it because it kind of defeats the purpose somewhat of the portable, quick aspect, switching from home to portable aspect of the system. But whatever, just give customers a choice, whatever. So the reason why the PlayStation 4 and actually even the PlayStation 3 and 360, the reason why these systems need such a big hard drive is because of installs. Now, I know a lot of you are probably like, duh, doctor, I know about installs. Yeah, you know about installs, but some of you don't necessarily know why these games need to be installed. Now, I've went over this a few years ago, but apparently people forgot. So, I've had new people subscribe since then. So, let's go over this again. The reason why these systems require installs, require a hard drive, is because Blu-ray discs and DVDs their read speed is too freaking slow for streaming high quality textures. Period. Especially with the kind of textures that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are putting out. It's too slow. So, to combat that, they install the games so that the game is playing from the hard drive and not from the disk. Now, I think there's some people out there that think when they get a game and they find out, oh, this game is 40 gigs and the install is 40 gigs, that means that the game is 80 gigs. No, the game is still 40 gigs. The reason you're installing 40 gigs to your hard drive is because you're installing the entire game to your hard drive. These games are like America Online starter discs. And the only thing that's really keeping them from you downloading the entire game and trading it in is probably a few kilobytes of security data that prevents that. Think of it like this. Do you guys remember the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 demo on PSN? Well, if any of you guys bought that game, you would see that the demo version of the game was like 5 gigs. And then when you decided to purchase the game, the additional data was like 20 freaking kilobytes. Why? Because the entire game was in the freaking demo. The entire game. You download the entire game with the demo. It was just that little kilobytes, a few kilobytes of data that opened everything up. Same thing here. Now, with the Nintendo Switch using carts, the need for the install is no more. The read speed of a cartridge is even faster than that of the hard drives that are in the freaking PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. There's no need for installs, right? So that's why I was saying that this is going to affect certain people, not everyone. Now, there's groups of people that this could potentially affect, being such a small size of the 32 gigs, and there's people that it won't affect at all. Now, if you are the kind of person that buys Nintendo systems strictly to play Nintendo games and would never ever buy a multi-plat on a Nintendo system, shut up. This doesn't affect you at all. Shut up. You're stupid. Shut up. This doesn't affect you at all. Okay? And the reason why it doesn't affect you at all is because the only way this is really an issue as far as that is if they get the multiplats on the Switch, and then there are constant updates to those games. Now, Nintendo games, for the most part, don't be having that. And if they do, it's very small files. Okay? So, if you are planning to buy a Switch just for first-party games, don't even worry about the 32 gigs. That crap does not affect you. Unless you're going to planning to go digital only. But, I mean, if you go digital, I mean, that's on you. Don't go digital only then. It ain't like you're getting a discount for going digital only. And don't give me that, oh, I need the space. You see how small them carts are? Have that seat. Problem solved. Now, who it does affect? It affects people like me that maybe are going to buy maybe, some indie games and stuff like that could fill that amount up real quick. But being honest here, I told you guys this before. The Wii U only has 32 gigs of storage, actually less when you consider how much the system itself takes up. And I literally have, I have over like 30 freaking, had like over 30 freaking games, indie games and Virtual Console and all of that stuff installed on the Wii U before I even needed to delete anything. And then with the PlayStation 4, depending on which games I had on there, sometimes I only had 8 games on there and it was already full. And that's 500 gigs. So some of you won't even fill up the 32 gigs, to be honest. Now, the other people that it will affect, well, actually, no, that's it. That's all it will affect. If you're planning to go digital only, yes, that will affect you. If you're gonna plan to buy a bunch of multiplats on the Switch, that would affect you. But chances are, if you're hardcore enough to buy most of your multiplats on the Switch, you're not tripping about the storage anyway. So have that seat.